Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very first episode of our Go-to-Market series. Our Go-to-Market series is meant for people looking to get into tech, the non-coding part of tech, and how to scale their current roles if they are currently in any of these product growth or marketing roles. And we are so lucky today to be starting out with someone so important, someone so experienced, someone that has made impact on businesses, not just on businesses, even probably on your pocket, in diverse ways. And I'll come to that in a second. Today, for the go-to-market series, we'll be starting out with the very fundamental role that I also started with in marketing, which is SEO. A lot of people will call it search engine optimization, but it is more than that. It is one of the most important organic channels you could ever have in marketing. And if you have an interaction before now, or you're seeing this video for the first time, I happen to be an experienced person in SEO, but I didn't just start and get there by default. I had two key people in my life that actually helped me to scale my career in SEO. One, someone that helped me to start, to even get to know about the space. And this man right here that took me from the level that I was and straight up, almost like, let's say, to the moon. And it's a lot of joy for me that is the one actually taking this salient role, this very important role, as you would find out. And who is he? What has he done? In a nutshell, he has led SEO not just in Nigeria, but it's currently changing the way SEO is done also globally, particularly for North America and in Europe. He has led SEO for one of the biggest brands in Nigeria, Jumia, that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and currently is product managing SEO at CoStar, the umbrella group for apartment.com and big brands in the US, that is listed on the NASDAQ and also on the S&P 500, which is why I told you that once he's delivering his results, your S&P 500 keeps going up and you keep making money. So that's the number of impact he's making here. And I'm so glad that Ejiro Esiri is here with us today to talk to us about how to scale, how to even start, to be better, and to scale your SEO career. So if this is your first time hearing about the word SEO, you're in the right space. If you've heard about SEO before, you're in the right space. If you're currently practicing SEO and you think you want to take it to the next level, this is the right video for you to be watching. So stay tuned for the next 30 or 40 minutes and get the best SEO angle you've ever heard from anybody. I'm so glad and so humbled to welcome Ejiro to this video, to this conversation today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. You're blowing my trumpet, but thank you very much.
Please, well deserved, please. And so quickly, to not take too much of our time and actually get cooking,
Okay.
we'll start with I'll do as if I don't know anything about SEO, and I'm going to ask the first question.
Okay.
What is SEO?
SEO equals to search engine optimization. Basically, increasing your visibility in search results, so that you're able to attract people that are looking for your product or your services, and they could land on your website. So basically, it's all the activities you do on your website, so that big search engines like Google can find you. I think in today's world, or in the markets we operate in, Google continues to show how dominant they are, in the market, like wiping out Bing and others from the space. But yes.
So if you've getting to start out in SEO, and you said it's very important, everybody needs SEO. Okay, so what are the potentials for me as an SEO specialist?
Potentials. Well, there's more money, for you to earn in SEO. One, I think the first thing is realize, like, joining a company that realizes the value of SEO, right?
Mm.
And also being able to preach the importance of SEO. Um, One thing I naturally know how to do as an SEO is I know how to dig into analytics. I know how to, you know, tell numbers, like explain the numbers and see, explain to superiors how SEO is impacting by just looking at the Google Analytics and say, hey, this is what we're driving and this is how we're impacting traffic. And if you ask maybe someone from the analytics or data science team to say, hey, what is our most effective channel? They'll probably agree with me, right? I believe SEO basically threw me into that, because you're looking at, okay, how are people searching? What kind of pages are they landing on?
Mm.
Is this search actually a good one? What's the intent of the search? You want to see, like, is the intent matching the page content? What can we do to optimize it? So you spend a lot of time. I did spend a lot of time, so my early days in SEO, digging through Google Analytics, um, using Excel, and all those benefits like come together to help me today. Um, I had a training. I attended a training at work where one of my coworkers was teaching people Microsoft Excel, and I was just smiling throughout this thing because these are things that I probably did 9, 10 years ago, right? And we were teaching people, and people were just like, "Oh," because sometimes I'm the only black guy in the room, and people were looking at, who is this African guy that knows all these things already? But um, I feel like if you're in SEO, there are things that are just going to just come naturally to you. You learn all
Mm.
these things because
Yeah.
you can't say you're a full SEO and you don't know how to use Excel or you don't know how to use Google Analytics. All those things are just gonna
Yeah.
come and you learn how to use them.
Got it.
Um, but I think when you're able to present the importance of that channel to your superiors, I believe you become more valuable. But you need to be in a company that realizes that is open to realizing how important SEO is. A lot of companies don't. A lot of companies don't care. They just feel like, you know what, we need marketing channels, Facebook, Instagram, influencers, and SEO, and that's it. But if you find yourself in a company that realizes how important SEO is to the business, to the sustainability of that business, to the life of that
Yeah.
business, then it will be easy for you to sell yourself to be able to, like, get more money. And the thing about SEO generally, I would say, is it's a skill that is never lost, right? Wherever you find
Mm.
yourself, you're useful as an SEO. And from SEO, I think SEO should be the baseline for anybody going into marketing. Because if you have the mindset as an SEO, you would excel in almost any marketing channel, right?
Yeah.
Um, if you're thinking of growth, I don't think you can talk about growth without talking about
That's
organic
you.
channels, right? Like
Yeah.
SEO, and other, like, channels that are kind of semi-organic.
Yeah.
You need those channels, and having understanding of one of them would help you when you're having, like, any growth efforts. So I would conclude this by just saying, the benefits of being an SEO are just so enormous. For once, I've never been scared of not having a job as an SEO because,
Right.
um, yes, you're always going to be relevant. Um, if
Mm.
they are looking to cut down on any team, um, I I don't think they will look first at the SEO team, right? Because your work cannot be easily replaced. And the knowledge you have, you can always transfer it to almost anywhere, any part of the world. So, as an
Mm.
SEO in Africa, I'm an SEO in the US, and not so much has changed. The only thing I would say has changed is just the scope, right? It's much larger here, but it's a skill that you can transfer almost anywhere. And I think we can say the same thing about most digital marketing channels as well. Um, but, like, the benefits are just so enormous. So yeah.
So, what skill sets will they need? What competency models do you think would fit so that they can actually check themselves? Okay, does this fit the kind of thing I want? Even though I want it,
Right.
can I match up with the requirements?
Right. Um, I would say the first thing you should know as an SEO is content. content. Um, and the intent in my company currently, um, we're usually starting with content, content creation, content optimization, play around with SEO, right? Play around with content rather, and no pressure, right? We teach you how to do keyword research. We teach you how to write, content for users, not for bots. And with time, as you're writing, as you're doing your research, understanding intent and all that stuff, you now start to ask questions. You see, people have to go from not asking questions, which is creating content, to asking questions like, okay, why am I creating this? Why is the title this way? Why not this way? Right? Why am I focusing on this keyword type and not this keyword type? What impact does this have? Right? So one of my team members, I gave her something to work on, and while she was working on it, she came up with something and I said, "Oh, Ejiro, look at." So we have this new filter we launched, and the intent was not matching what we had on the page. And she was like, "I don't think this makes sense." And that gladdened my heart because I always tell her to question everything she says. Everything I ask her to do, I needed to question it, right? So if you flip the keyword, and I'm not going to mention it, but if you flip the keyword, it has around 5x the search volume. And
Oh,
the intent at that point now truly matches what the
on the
page is
page.
offering and also what our competitors are offering. But everybody's just doing the same thing and just optimizing for the wrong keyword.
Hmm.
Well, at the moment she asked that question, we realized that yes, this is a valid point, right? We need to just flip it. So we looked at the numbers and we just like, we're gonna flip this, and we flip the keyword, flip the title and all the page content to reflect what the page or what customers are looking to see and stuff like that. So I would say people start with content, and as they grow, they start to ask questions. I'll be like, what, go into SEM Rush and find the search volume and let me know what the intent is. Go into Google Analytics and see how that page is currently performing for this particular keyword or Search Console. Um, you know what? I need you to do a VLOOKUP and find all the URLs we have for this particular filter and see how much traffic we are getting. You're getting knowledge in Excel, right?
Hmm.
So I think starting from content is a good platform for people to start. You truly understand the basics of marketing of SEO by starting from content and gradually growing into asking questions by using all these tools like Google Analytics, Search Console, Screaming Frog. Um, I think Screaming Frog is overreaching, but basically Google Analytics, Search Console, and maybe Excel. These are things that should be basic for you to learn or to start as you begin your journey in SEO. As a marketing professional in general, or as a growth person, you are constantly asking questions. You're constantly challenging the status quo. You don't keep things the way they are. Else, that's not growth, right? If you're keeping things
Yeah.
the way they are. So, if you're not asking the whys, like why is it like why are we doing things this way? Why is it this keyword? Uh, why is it this design? Why is the page structure looking like this? Right? If you have that mindset, then you're setting yourself up to be a successful SEO and eventually a successful marketing person. That being said, um, all the guys that I work with at Jumia, I was lucky to work with you guys. I'm really happy to see what you guys have got into today from SEO, and I believe that as an SEO, it's going to be easy for you to step into every other marketing field if you want to, right?
Yeah.
To me, if I was CMO of a company, I would want to hire someone that has SEO as a primary background, because I know they have a very deep understanding of the product, of marketing, you know. And if everything else fails, if budgets runs dry, I have someone that can
Yeah.
knock things down and keep the business running. Of course, you won't get the same um, numbers of like you're getting with paid support, but at least you'll be able to keep it steady, you know. And I look at the numbers we're running today for my current company, and it's unbelievable that um, a company can rely solely on SEO, like majorly on SEO. Most of our traffic are from SEO. If you check any third party tool, you would have an idea of what not just my company, but also our competitors' major driver is SEO, right? And this just reinforces what I've always known, or what I've always spoken to most CEOs in Nigeria about, that SEO can be a major traffic source for you, right? Because it's quality traffic, right? You're not
Okay.
guessing, right? You're working with, okay, we've created this website, and if Google thinks this is a good page, they're going to index it and show it to their users. Now, one thing I rely on for this is Google is more concerned about creating a rich experience for their users. Forget you, they want to create a rich experience for their users. So that's what matters to them, right? And if they think your page is good enough, they're going to show it to their users, right? So whatever users are landing on your page, know that they want to be there. It's not in the olden days of SEO where people could do keyword stuffing and you could put unrelated keywords and rank your page for a keyword you're not supposed to be ranking for. No, that doesn't happen today, right? So that means I can make the conclusion that SEO traffic is most likely quality traffic, and
Yeah.
whatever conversions you're getting there, or whatever users you're getting from SEO, you should be able to grab those users and make sure you squeeze them or you force them down through your conversion, using other channels as well. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I so much agree about the quality of the traffic, because I think from experience as well, I see that the time on site for SEO is always the longest.
Oh, yeah.
So people, they actually come in there for interest sakes. Yeah, I
Yes.
think that's very
Yes.
important. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ejiro. And quickly then now about how. So if I'm going to start, you had mentioned about if I understand content, if I know to ask the right questions.
Mhm.
What other things do you think are just at the baseline for me? That okay, once you have content and you have questions to start, like what
Yes.
are the other baseline you think I might need to start, or like where can I start from actually? So do I just like where should I start? Should I just go to Twitter and say someone recruit me or something?
Of course not. Um, of course not. I think most of the SEOs that I have worked with, that started from the bottom, started off with just creating content, um, and while like people can start from other parts, which is like maybe um, link building, for example. Um, I just find content creation to be a very effective way to start your SEO career. Link building is also there, but the thing with link building is not a lot of SEOs see it as a long term strategy, right? Especially if you are in enterprise SEO, like link building is not like you cannot have a strategy of okay, you know what, I'm going to reach out to 1,000 webmasters to give me a backlink. My brother, you're wasting your time, right? You
Yeah.
typically would want to have like very for your link building plan, you want to have like a large scale strategy to get tons of backlinks regularly without you doing so much, right?
Yeah.
Um, because even today, even though Google says links are very important in how they decide what pages are important, they also don't want you to go around like just asking for backlinks and doing it a shady way, right? That being said, there are ways you could work with like PR, you know, and just the popularity of your website, news websites to grow the popularity of your website. People link it to you and like, oh, apartment.com, Jumia.com, and stuff like that. Even at Jumia, at some point, we stopped building backlinks. I don't think you built any backlinks when you were at Jumia. Did you?
No. No.
Right? We stopped building backlinks because we're like, you know what? We have a ton of backlinks. Like, why should we care about building more, right? Which was the fact. Um, so I wouldn't point backlinks as a good way to start because in the long term you might find yourself not being useful again in the team because if there's no money for backlinks or if you do it in the wrong way and you get into trouble, right? It's going to be like, okay, team, build bad backlinks, and now we're in trouble and Google is punishing us. Of course,
Yeah.
they're like, we need to let you go. Um, I would not want to talk too much about backlinks, but I would jump back to content being like one of the most important aspects that you could learn. There are, technical things that one could also like pick up from, but not everyone is technical, right? So if you say, you know what, go and do a training on technical SEO and become a technical SEO basically, stuff like that. I think you're jumping the gun with that, right? And you're doomed to be missing like the fundamentals of SEO that you should know. And you're going straight to what is robot.txt? How can I optimize robot.txt? What is canonical? How can I make sure that we are setting the canonical rules properly and stuff like that? I think you're really missing like what's most important when it comes to SEO,
Base.
right? Because at the end of the day, remember, right? You're doing one thing. You're creating content for users, right? Not for bots. Eventually, as SEOs, we care more about the bots than the users, right? Because that's where the money is, right? But you're creating content for users, and if you don't understand how important the content is, then eventually you might not, you might struggle with SEO in the future, right? Because your thinking or your mindset is like, what, I don't need content. I don't need to work on this. So even if you see if a website has a content problem, you might not be able to identify it because you've started from the wrong aspect. So imagine you are asked to audit a website and somehow you don't know about the importance of um, content, duplicate content, and all that stuff, right? And all you're thinking of is, what, this content looks good, is optimized, blah blah blah. I can see plenty of keywords there, and that's it. And you think that's the right strategy to go. You'll probably fail eventually, but if you started from the right angle, which is knowing about what is good content, how can I create good content, then other things will just fall nicely in place. And of course, people have different opinions on this, but for me, that's been my approach. And also, people I work with on a day-to-day basis, this is also like similar approach that they have succeeded at, which is they push you through content, and every other thing just falls into place. Um, and it's a humble place to start from. You know,
Yeah.
you might be just sitting down behind your table writing content, and it gets frustrating. You get angry, like I'm doing the same monotonous task, but you are learning a lot of things as you're going, right? You're learning about keyword research, you're learning about optimizing pages, right? Then you now start to ask questions about why is this like this, why is this like that, and that's how you get into technical SEO the right way. So
Mm.
yeah,
And then scale up from there.
yes, you scale up from there. Yes.
Yeah, that's very nice. I think you've partially answered the next question, which talks about what a day-to-day of an SEO specialist look like. But maybe you can even give us more context in terms of someone already working in SEO.
Yes.
What kind of things do I do on an average day?
Well, spend some time on Twitter looking for SEO jokes. That's a good way to start. um, yeah, unlike other like marketing fields, to be honest, SEO is not something that you need to, you know, hold like this. Like, okay, you must do the same thing every day. There are times where you probably have nothing to do as an SEO, you know. So um, on a busy day for an SEO specialist, depending on what your focus is, in a typical company in the US that has a full stack SEO company, a full stack SEO team, there are people that focus on content. There are people that focus on the analytics parts of SEO. There are people that focus on the technical part of SEO. There are people that look for opportunities, do competitor research and stuff like that. So it depends on where you find yourself. But if you're unlucky to be practicing SEO um, in
Everything.
parts of the world, I don't want to mention, but uh, you'd have to like wear several hats as an SEO. which is you get into like typically you get into work if you're working in a small company, you want to like keep track of performance, keyword rankings, visits and all that stuff to make sure just to basic housekeeping stuff, make sure everything looks good. Then if you have content that you want to like, because maybe you're working with a content agency that helps with creating content, you want to work with them to, say, hey, how are we, where are we with content creation and stuff like that. Um, you want to like look at some of the content updates that you're making to the website, content information efforts you're making to the website and stuff like that. I think at the end of the day, just you can tie it to your business goals and the goals you have for the team to your day to day. Just depends. So if you're at your growth phase, definitely you'll be doing a lot of building. So speaking about me, I'm on the product side. My day to day involves looking at the stories that we're working on, and by stories I mean like when we're building features or products or projects, get made up of stories, right? So looking at those and fixing, like writing the user stories, working with the design team to maybe build a page, like um, basically that's my day to day. Also, um, finding bugs is also part of an SEO's life. There are always going to be bugs. As long as it's a dynamic website, always going to be bugs. And bugs that could impact your SEO performance, which leads me to mentioning something, log file analyzer. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of SEOs don't get to work with log file analyzers, right? And I think they said Screaming Frog now has that capability. I've never used it before, but I don't think my small laptop can handle Screaming Frog.
Log analyzer.
No, I don't think so. But basically, um,
Pro-
I do look at log analyzer from time to time to see if Google is crawling our website properly, if it's encountering any 404 errors and stuff like that, if the page is being rendered properly. And of course, you can do that through Search Console as well. And basically, if you find anything, you start handling it as a bug or you handle it as a new way to, as a news story to fix that. One thing someone reached out to me for recently, I think last year, was a friend in Canada. He he launched a jobs platform, and it was made in Angular JS. And I don't like websites made with Angular. They are so troublesome. I don't.
Single
And
page
it was like,
application.
yeah, it was like Google is not crawling my pages, and I'm like, I went to the website and I looked at the page and I saw like, okay, I can see your pages, but why is Google not crawling it? Apparently, the way Angular renders to search bots
Yeah.
is not the best way, but yeah, there are ways to like fix that. So the dev guy that worked on the website for them, dev team, um, did not have SEO in mind when they were creating like setting up the website. So it's like if Google comes, they just see a naked website and they're not able to crawl other links.
Mm.
And you know, of course, with my experience, I was able to quickly identify that and show him what he needed to like speak to his dev team or his product team to fix. So a lot of it for a large website would have to be a lot of your day to day would be on finding bugs, and I think basically looking for things that could move the needle. You know, um, like I said earlier, content will not always move the needle. The content is good, and I think it's kind of the easy part. It's the easy part and difficult part of SEO, right? Because if you have someone that's good at creating content, you have a solution. But if you don't have someone that knows how to identify how best to give Google a wonderful experience so that when they come to
Yeah.
your website, they're able to find that content, then everything you've done is gone to waste.
It's a waste.
Yes. So um, I would say like most SEOs will find themselves finding hunting bugs that could impact the experience crawlers are going to have on their website because it's critical, right? If, like with the example of the job website, if you have that and you don't know why Google is not scrolling all your pages, so you have 10 million pages and your log analyzer shows Google is only crawling 500,000, you know you have a problem, right? So the internal linking structure is probably horrible, or Google is not just finding those links because it's a crawler. That's what the crawler does. Crawler just keeps on finding links. And if they're not finding those links, then you know you have a problem. So a lot of it has to do with like having a mindset of how do I identify problems and how do I dig into the website to see what's going on, right? And that's where tools like Screaming Frog comes into play. You know, you use Screaming Frog, you can render like Google, you can render with JavaScript, do JavaScript and all that stuff, just to get an understanding of what the problem is. And next step is going in to fix it. So it depends on your team size, depending on the company type. Your day to day differ, but for my day to day, like I said, I'm in the growth and expansion team. I focus mostly on creating new page type, new page templates, for our website to drive the growth of the website, to expand the kind of keywords that we are targeting and ranking for. Like I said, apartments.com is a market leader. We rank number one for about 90% of the queries in the rental market. So we can only expand and get better, right? We're looking to basically, tap into more broader keyword types, and all those other keyword types would not necessarily be tied to what we are focused on, not the rental market. It might be things that someone that would eventually search for a rental keyword may look for. So that's what the expansion is about. We cannot just say, oh, I'm number one and I'm number one and that's it. No.
Yeah.
Yes. How can you expand so that you're meeting users at the very top of the funnel to drive conversion eventually? So yes. So that's what I'm focused on right now.
Okay. That's very, very detailed. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And I think that would direct us now into career progression.
Okay.
So starting out as an SEO specialist, what are the opportunities for me? What other things can I do? You found a way, I think, to do it at the topmost level. What other opportunities? How else can people move in the career as an SEO specialist?
Good question. You know what? If you start up in SEO, there's also progression into SEM. So SEM is basically the paid part of like SEO, and it's kind of technical as well, especially when you're dealing with a large website, and maybe you're doing like things like DSA campaigns, like dynamic search,
Yes.
It makes it easy for you, like you understand the basics, and it's just easy for you to like slip into things like SEM, and you've worked with Google AdWords, the keyword tool, you work with SEM Rush, so basically it's going to be easy for you to step into other fields like that, and also things like Facebook ads or almost any other part of SEO of marketing would be easy for an SEO to step into. Trust me, a Facebook marketing specialist cannot step into SEO instantly. No. You cannot, right? No. You have to start from the bottom. Same thing for an SEM specialist. The fact that they are still the same platforms, you might not necessarily just step into SEO just like that. But it's easy for an SEO because you kind of understand the basics. You know how to use Google Analytics. You know how to use the AdWords tool to an extent. And after a couple of trainings, I think you'll be fine. You'll be good to go. Not become a master, but you'll be good to go. So, career progressions, you could grow within the team, or you could grow like within the marketing group, right? Most SEOs choose to grow within the team. For people that want something more challenging, they want to take up like, I want to lead growth, and growth is a very expansive term.
Yeah.
because it covers not just SEO, it could tap into things like having a mobile app, growing other traffic channels, even affecting the business model itself, right? Um, One thing I do love about SEO, and it's really endeared me to SEO, is SEO is a channel that speaks to the business, right? It kind of tells you, helps you reposition your business, tells you what people are looking for, the questions people are asking, the needs people are
Mm.
looking for you to fulfill, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you expand. And for me, I'm always looking at our keywords gap analysis. We have that done every month, and it helps me understand the um, the areas that we are not fulfilling for our users, right? So with that, I take that back during the product meetings. I bring it up and like, for example, I'll give you an example: EV charging. So EV charging is relatively new, and some apartments that are being built in the US now come with EV charging, right? That's the newer apartments, with Teslas and everything.
Yeah.
So people are now looking for apartments that have EV charging, right? So uh, someone checked and saw that we're seeing a lot of people searching for
Mm.
apartments EV charging, right? But we don't
Mm.
have that, right? So that was
Yeah.
an opportunity to expand into providing that amenity, to our users, because people are looking for it. They want to narrow down their search, but we don't have it, right? So even if you were to search for apartments with EV charging, you're probably not going to find our website, right? Because we
Mm.
have not created a functionality yet, So um, um,
That's
by looking at it from that angle, you see SEO as a way, as a window to kind of like expand. We see our competitors are doing it, and we're like, you know what, we can also do this as well, right? So let's expand our website offering to also cater to this filter amenity type. um, and yeah, I think it's a really um, important channel for like businesses to like really expand and understand what their customers need. You could grow within the SEO team or grow outside the SEO team. So growing into other channels, doing SEM, doing Facebook paid and all stuff is also growth, and also growing within the SEO team is also growth for you. um, and I see a lot of people, stepping out. People like you, people like Rufus, Comfort, that's people in Jumia. And, they stepped out into doing other things apart from SEO, but the SEO is still there. They know it, right? So it feels like if you have conquered SEO, let me go and do other things and I'll be fine. It makes you a full stack digital marketing person because you understand SEO, you understand SEM, you understand Facebook marketing, you understand, display ads and stuff like that. Um, that I believe that the only person that can achieve full stack level in marketing is SEO professionals, right? Because if you start with Facebook or SEM,
yeah.
SEO is not something you can just say you tap and you learn small out of it and that's it. No, you need
Yeah.
in-depth knowledge of how it works. And
Yeah.
most of the best CMOs I've worked with are people that have a background in SEO. Yes, my CMOs in Jumia, the CMOs I have also worked with in the US have a background in SEO, right? Because when you understand SEO, understand how it works, they have they have like I see them as having a better, and there's no bias at all. It's just basic. Like they have a better, they're grounded in marketing. They understand the importance of each channel. And you need to be working with someone that understands the importance of each channel, right? Not all channels are equal. Not all channels are equal for all businesses, but understanding how important each channel is would help you, nurture each unit within your department, within like your entire group, your marketing group, to get the best results out of them. So, um, that being said, it's you could grow within SEO or you could grow outside of SEO. It just depends on what you have a preference for. Um, but I've seen people do either of them and they come out just fine. So There are lots of room, and I don't know any SEO that I particularly worked with that has struggled to grow within
Yeah.
those two tracks. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of them grow to become like heads of marketing, CMOs, directors and stuff like that. And I think whatever like you have a preference for is what you should go for.
How do you scale your earnings? How do you get more money as an SEO specialist?
um, so I think getting more money as an SEO specialist, if your company allows you to, if you have a policy, a work policy that allows you to like do this, then it's fine. And it's consulting for other businesses, right? So while everybody should have an SEO, not everybody can afford an SEO, right? Not everybody can afford a specialist. So some people would just have a marketing or a content team that, or maybe just a simple SEO guy that knows a thing or two in SEO, but not necessarily afford a specialist that can tell them like this is what you need to do to move the needle, right? Consulting comes in really handy where you could come in to like advise businesses and get paid big time for it. It's a very good way for you to get additional income, which is consulting for smaller businesses, you know, on their SEO. It could really come in handy. And I know a ton of SEO guys, even in Nigeria, that act as consultants. The people that can't afford to have you on their books, so like if you can't afford to pay somebody 20, 30 million naira a year, right, to be on your books, if you need something, maybe you need to prepare for the next quarter and you think, oh, yes, your team cannot take this, you go and meet a consultant or someone that, knows SEO and say, hey, we need help with this. And the person is going to be like, sure, I can help you look at this. And they would basically do what they can. You pay them a small amount, maybe 1 million or 2 million naira, and they're back to their life. So consulting is a good way for people um, to get money. The other things people do, like offer services on Fiverr,
Yeah.
Upwork, freelance.com, I don't recommend them because you are going to be dealing with the worst of worst people that don't value SEO. You know, these people would come and meet you and tell you, I want SEO. I want you to do keyword research for me for 1,000 keywords, and they probably want to pay you $5. Um, if you want to waste your time, sure, be my guest and go to those websites. But I would focus on building my network and positioning yourself within the SEO community so that you can be referred, right? So I do refer a lot of people. Like when people ask me, like, do you have someone that can work on this? I can work on that. I'm like, oh, sure. I think this person is going to be a good fit for this and to help you. You get more money from doing that. You'd also get more respect, you know, from handling quality projects. I know wasting your time working on projects that would not reward you. It doesn't even come close to what you're worth as an SEO. So I think consulting is a very, very good way for you to, make extra income as an SEO.
But
Yeah.
so the next question will actually be about how do you keep up to be the best SEO?
Yeah.
So what are the things you need
Yes.
to be the best, basically?
Things you need to be the best. One, constantly challenge yourself. Challenge what you know in SEO. Be open to being criticized. And at the end of the day, when you're open to being criticized, when you're open to learning new things from people, then basically um, know that you're growing or you're developing in the skill that you've acquired as an SEO. And that's how you get better jobs. That's how you get better referrals and stuff like that. So you know that this person, when you speak to such people, you know that stuff works for them. They have results to show for it. So if I tell you like I'm an SEO, I'm the best SEO in California, for example, and you're like, oh, what websites do you work from? And you mention a website, and I just search one of the services you provide, and and I can't see in search results, you have no results to show for, right?
Yeah.
Um, but if you're someone that has developed by being open to suggestions from other people and learning from other people's experiences, right? Then you go back to your own table and implement what you have learned from other people, which goes back to my point of being receptive to learning from other people, right? When you learn from other people, you're able to apply it to your own website that you're managing and help that website to grow. So if that happens, then you can now say, I am a true guru in this SEO field. The results already speak for you.
Speak for
Um,
itself.
yes, they speak for itself, exactly. So I think it's just critical that you have that mindset of being receptive to people. Some people don't like to learn anything new when it comes to SEO. Whatever they know is what they know. There are lots of SEOs on Twitter, and they talk about SEO and stuff like that. You could learn from someone's experience there. You could take a cue from maybe a project they're working on and use that to implement on your own website, and stuff like that. I would say I'm not 100% reliant on Google guidelines. I'm more reliant on experiments that I carry out
Yeah.
and see the results myself, right? And that's how you stay ahead of other people. So if you have the mindset of, let me see what Google says about this topic, and I'm going to stick to what Google says about this topic, you're going to play safe. But the person that is going to dominate you in search results is
Very much.
constantly challenging and
Yeah.
doing experiments on a large scale, to see what works, and basically doing that.
And if you were me and they're starting out in SEO today,
Right.
what are the hacks that I could implement that will get me to the top faster? I don't want to just take a course and just do SEO like every other person. I want to move very fast. What are the 1, 2, 3 things I can do to actually get me fast to the end?
Okay. So first, I would say work in in a mid to large size company, no matter how small the role is. I think it's important people are exposed to large websites, right? Large websites. And why I love what large websites is they give you the true experience of SEO, unlike small websites where it's just a couple of pages, hundred of pages, like a WordPress website. Like that's not the true SEO experience for me, right? When you're working with a large website, it doesn't have to be hundreds of millions of pages. It can be a website that has maybe an e-commerce website that has 10,000 products, right? Or 20,000 products, right? That's um, when you make changes, the changes are huge and impact a lot of people. Um, I think working with really small websites might not be like really beneficial to someone just starting SEO. I would work with a website that has mid to large um, number of pages. Could be from 10,000 to 100 million pages if I'm lucky, because you have a platform to learn from. Um, and with such websites as well, you're quickly thrown into the mix of technical SEO. I think people need to get to technical SEO faster than they would normally would. Don't get stuck in content creation. While I said it's a good way to start, you cannot get stuck in content creation, and you need to be in an area that permits that growth. So you start content creation, and within 6 months to 1 year, or let me put it 1 year to 2 years, you find yourself asking questions about technical SEO, like, okay, what is canonicalization? What is hreflang? Um, what is robot.txt? How do I update this and stuff like that? You can start asking those questions in year two, or you start doing simple things like, okay, I think um, this page, we need to change the canonical of this page because I see these two pages offering similar content and we need to consolidate it. Um, if you are running a website that has 10 pages, waiting concerning canonicalization, you have nothing to,
Yeah.
look at there. It's so small, the scale is so small that you wouldn't have a lot of questions to ask. So I would say start at a company that has a lot of pages, because that's where you get to do real SEO work. And also look at joining a company that understands SEO to an extent, right? They don't have to be SEO specialists, the MD or the CEO, but they understand the value of SEO. The company that understands the value of SEO will understand your value, will understand your importance to the company, would limit your scope to actual SEO stuff, and will not get you distracted. So if you're distracted, you come in as an SEO, but you are spending half of your day designing graphics or creating Facebook ads. You're not an SEO, right? And if you do that for 5 years, if they throw you into the mix of actually doing SEO, you're gonna struggle because you have not done real SEO work. So go to a company that actually understands what SEO is or has an idea of SEO, and look at the person leading the team, whether the head of marketing or the CMO, and ensure that this person has an idea of SEO. And one thing we don't do as Nigerians, I think is a culture issue, is we don't ask questions. So you're being interviewed and you're just there looking to answer questions. Ask questions about the person interviewing you and make a judgment call, like, does this person know SEO or not? Right? And if the person doesn't know SEO, the person is like, okay, we are looking for someone that will come and optimize all our pages for us. Can you do it? The person says, sure, I can do it. And that's where the question ends. And you come in, you don't have any support. You don't have anybody to help you when you have difficult questions to ask, then you have a problem. Even at my company, despite the years of experience that the combined team has, we do have a consultant that we work with, right? Previsible. So Previsible is founded by some guy that was the head of SEO at eBay. The guy works with enterprise clients only. Basically anything that we are not sure of, we just go and ask Previsible, like, hey guys, what do you guys think? And that's what consultants do. So imagine a company like us having a consultant, right? And you're working in a mid-sized company and you don't have anybody you could go ask questions. You're not going to know everything, right? So when you're faced with a difficult problem, do you have someone you can reach out to? So if you go meet your boss and say, hey, we have this question about the new website structure that we are having, right? But we don't know the questions to ask or who to ask, right? If you have someone that understands SEO, understands how it works, they wouldn't mind giving you a budget to speak to a consultant, right? So there are several websites that are like agencies that offer one-on-one consulting for like a small project, and like you can go and ask them like, hey, I want to have a 1-hour consultation with you about our website, and they can help you, right? And it's going to maybe cost you £1,000 per hour and stuff like that. So who's going to give you money for that? If your boss doesn't realize that that's something you need to do, then you are going to have a problem. So these are questions people need to ask. I would say lastly, which is what I'm happy you're doing this, is join an SEO community, have a mentor, have someone that you can ask questions when you run into. There are people that still reach out to me that I worked with, that when they have SEO, people that are still fully in SEO, when they have issues with technical SEO questions, they're like, oh, Ejiro, how would you do this? Right? And of course, I'm not going to charge them for it, but I'll be like, okay, this is how I'll do it. But they having me is based on the fact that we've worked together. I know them on a personal basis. Not everybody has this opportunity, but a way to tap into something like this is being part of the community, an SEO community, following like SEO leaders that have like a platform like yours, to talk about SEO, talk about growth. And if they tap into that, they can always ask someone a question like, hey, how are you going about this? Can you be my mentor? Like, or can I ask you a question about SEO from time to time? That really helps.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Poof. That has been a lengthy session full of many solutions. And thank you so much for sharing your wealth of experience with us.
Yes.
I think those final points are very, very crucial. Having a community to run to, starting out in a very big firm, and I can, looking at my own experience, really
Yes.
did a lot of help, because I was doing SEO normally with people with smaller brands, but the
Right.
game changed when I joined Jumia, and I saw the number of pages you had to manage every week,
Yes. Oh
and you
yeah.
have to know that duplicate pages is 100 duplicate pages, 200 duplicate pages. All of those things are very good problems to have early in career and SEO.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
and I think that has really, really helped construct the way I look at marketing as well, even since I moved fully from doing SEO 100%.
Right.
Thank you so much, really. We're going to come back to you, definitely 100%. We'll beg that you have enough time to give us so that we can
Yeah.
get questions from people and actually be able to tackle what concerns they have. And like
Okay.
I said, I'm not going to be biased, but permit me to be biased a little bit. This is where I started from as well. SEO can be the very best platform for you to start. So if you're trying to decide on what kind of role do you want,
Yes.
okay, I'm trying to get started. Like he has said it, and with evidence, you can hear the amount he has mentioned in this call. There are millions, and you can actually even check what agencies charge for SEO consultations.
Right.
It is not small money, so it is where you can be for the longest time. I can also give some example myself of this past week. I had two people reach out by referral about SEO, and of course, all that won't go for free. So that's just tells more stories about how juicy this space is and
Yes.
how much you can keep earning. Like Ejiro is in the US, please. Like something must give, right? So if you're looking to get to the US as well, probably who knows? Like this might be your own route as well.
Right.
So and there will be a last part that we didn't speak about in this video,
Okay.
and we will have like maybe subsequent videos to talk about, which is product-led SEO. But time will permit us today. But we'll beg that Adrian will be able to give us more time next time to speak in depth. This is the next level of SEO. And before we started this call, I had learned a lot, even myself, in product-led SEO, which is very, very an important part of where SEO and how SEO will be done. Even with AI and ChatGPT coming up, you can't say everything will remain the same. There's a lot of changes coming. So if you want to be at the forefront of SEO, stay tuned. More is coming from Ejiro and many other top professionals around the world that have dominated SEO and have made it a very juicy place to be in. Thank you so much, Ejiro. We hope that CoStar will not mind that we took a lot of your knowledge to share for free here, because they are paying you to get all of to help them with all of this knowledge.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for the time. Thank you for the effort. And everyone, catch you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.